Welcome! You are about to practice beginner's yoga poses, standing poses, and we'll do some other things, but we'll mostly focus on the basics of some standing poses. So you will need today 2 blocks, your yoga mat, something comfortable to wear, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because I'm making all kinds of beginners videos and I don't want you to miss any of them. So let's get started because when we practice yoga, we feel better. We'll begin sitting up nice and tall. Take a couple of long, smooth breaths in and out through your nose. We're going to start with an affirmation. So say this quietly to yourself or out loud if you'd like. I use my power wisely. I am strong. I am safe. All is well. And then make your way onto your back and place your hands on your belly. And just take a long breath into your belly and then exhale, let it release. Inhale, fill your belly with your breath. And exhale, smoothly let it release. In and out through the nose whenever you can is how we want to breathe. Again, inhale, breathe right into the belly, let it expand, and then exhale, release it. Then move your hands right up onto your rib cage. And now inhale, breathe into the hands, into the rib cage, and then exhale and release it. So inhale, fill the belly, and then expand up through the rib cage. And then exhale, release the rib cage and the belly. And once again, inhale, fill the belly, expand through the rib cage, and exhale, let it release. Inhale, bring your hands up to your shoulders. So as you breathe in, expand belly, ribs all the way up into the chest. And then as you exhale, exhale chest, rib cage, and belly. So expanding the breath some more. So inhale, fill the belly, expand through the rib cage, take it all the way up to your chest, all the way up to the shoulders. And then exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Once again, inhale, fill the belly, expand through the rib cage, take the breath all the way up. And then exhale, smoothly release it down. And then take your arms by your sides. Start to wake up your legs by pointing your toes up to the ceiling and firming the leg muscles. Gently pull your belly in and lengthen your sitting bones toward the backs of your knees. You can bend your knees to do that and then straighten them again. Draw your shoulder blades towards your waist. Just start to notice the natural curves of the spine. Keep those as you inhale and take your arms up and over in line with the ears. If they don't make it in line with the ears, take them as far as you can, but keep your front ribs drawing in and keep lengthening your sitting bones toward the heels. So try not to let your rib cage puff up or your low back overarch. Next, exhale, take the arms back down by your sides. So keeping these natural curves, draw the belly in. Inhale, take the breath all the way up to the chest as you reach your arms up and over, but then be sure to draw your front ribs down and lengthen your sitting bones toward your heels. And then this time, exhale, sweep the arms out to the sides and then down by your legs. Again, inhale, take the arms straight up and over in line with the ears as much as you can, but keep the ribs in. You can take them 3/4 of the way, whatever works. And then exhale, turn your palms out and sweep your arms around and back down by your sides. Bend your knees. And take your feet about as wide as your mat. So take them wider than hips width. Now drop your knees over to the left and look over your right shoulder for a gentle twist. If that twist is too intense, you can always place your right leg on top of the left instead. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, knees over to the right. Look over the left shoulder. Of course, if that bothers your neck to turn your head, then you don't need to. And then make your way back to center. Someone testing the water. Take the knees over to the left, looking over your right shoulder. And then back through center, inhale, and exhale, bring them over to the right. Look over the left shoulder. And now bring your knees to center. And roll yourself all the way onto your right side. Use your left hand to press yourself up. And then cross at your shins to roll yourself forward, or roll yourself forward any way you can onto hands and knees. And then take your hips all the way back toward the heels in child's pose. Your head could rest down on the mat if you like, or not. But stretch out your arms, spread your fingers nice and wide, press into the base of the fingers, straighten out your elbows, and let your hips come back toward the heels. Then inhale, make your way up, tuck your toes under, and bring your chest forward, lift your chin, lift your tailbone up. And then exhale, round the back and take your hips back toward the heels. They don't have to go all the way back, just whatever works. Same thing, inhale. Bring your chest forward, lift your chin, lift your tailbone up. Exhale, tuck the tail, pull the belly in, rounding the back, hips to heels. So nice and slow. So as you inhale, make this one long inhale as you come forward. Widen your collarbones. And then one long exhale as you start to round your back and take your hips to your heels. And then inhale, coming forward back to hands and knees. Turn your inner elbows gently forward and lift your knees to come into downward facing dog. Keep spreading your fingers, pressing into the base of the fingers. Keep your knees bent and then start to straighten the right knee. And then bend the right knee, straighten the left. Bend the left leg, straighten the right. And bend the right leg, straighten through the left. The arms are shoulders distance. Bend both knees, stretch back. Feet are hip socket distance apart, and begin to walk your hands toward your feet and or feet toward the hands and come into a forward fold. Knees bent, or you can straighten them if that's possible, but since it's first forward fold, bending the knees a little is nice. Then come halfway up and stretch out your back, make it really long. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And then turn to face the long side of your mat. Standing in Tadasana with the feet hips width apart. You can also take the feet together if that feels stable. Otherwise, hips distance apart. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel, so point your toes in a little bit. Bring your hands onto your hips, step your feet nice and wide. Take your arms out at shoulder height. If you could grow really long fingers, you would want your ankles right underneath those long fingers. So it's a pretty wide stance. Then return your hands to your hips, turn your right leg all the way out. Bring your back toes forward, slightly line up your front heel with your back arch. As you inhale, take your arms up at shoulder height again. And as you exhale, take your right hand to your hip crease and start to lean forward over your straight right leg. And then inhale, come back up. Hands onto the hips. So you're hinging from your hip crease. Lean your torso forward over your straight front leg. And then inhale, come back up again. Your belly lifted, once again, hinging from that hip crease. Lengthen out your torso to the side, then reach your right arm forward. Let it drop down wherever it goes. And take your left hand to pull your bottom ribs forward, sweep your top ribs back, and then reach it up toward the ceiling. Keep pressing weight into the base of the big toe of your right foot. Draw your right sitting bone under you. Look down at the foot. Inhale to come up. Release your arms. And then inhale, take them up to shoulder height again. Exhale, hinging from that hip crease. Reach as far as you can out to the side. Then take your right hand down wherever it lands. You can also put it on your yoga block if you want to. Stretch up through your left arm. The crown of the head reaching forward. If it feels okay to look up toward your left hand, then do. Otherwise, look forward or down. Look down to come up on your inhale. And release the arms down. Grab your block. Put it to the highest height behind your front ankles on the little toe side of the foot. Arms at shoulder height, again, hinging from that hip crease. Reach, reach, reach out and down. Take your hand to the block if it reaches. Left hand to the bottom rib cage. Stretch it back up. So you're bringing bottom ribs forward, top ribs back. If your hand doesn't reach the block, you can always rest it on your leg. We keep lengthening out the side body. Try to lengthen from your right hip crease through your right armpit to get lots of length on the bottom side of the torso. Press into the big toe mound of your right foot. Press your calf toward your shin as you draw your front sitting bone under you. Then look down at the foot. Inhale, come on up, grab that block, and take it to the other side. So we'll just have it handy there on the little toe side of the left foot now. Make sure your feet are still lined up front heel with back arch. And then inhale, take your left hand to your left hip crease, and hinging from that place, start to lean over your left straight leg. Inhale, come back up. Both hands on the hip creases. Now from the left hip crease again, you'll move from that place, hinging forward over your left leg, your torso over the leg. Inhale, back up. And open the chest. Exhale, hinge from that hip crease, leaning forward over the straight leg. Now reach your left arm out to the side and then let it drop down wherever it reaches. Use your right hand to bring your bottom ribs forward, top ribs up, and then stretch it up toward the ceiling. Look down at the foot and come on up. This is Trikonasana, triangle pose. We're going to do it again. So hinging from that hip crease, take the arms out, reach, reach, reach as far as you comfortably can. Take the left hand down to the leg, or you can always use your block. Bring your right hand down to pull your bottom ribs forward, spin top ribs back. Now see if you can find that length through the torso, especially from your left hip crease to the armpit. Look down at your foot. Inhale, back up. Release the arms a moment. And now we'll try it with the block. Arms to shoulder height. Hinge from the hip crease. Reach, 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 reach out as far as you can. Then take your hand to the block. If it doesn't make it to the block, rest it on the leg. Reach up through the right arm, but first pull your bottom ribs forward, spin your top ribs back. Now stretch up through the top arm. Press into the big toe mound of the left foot. Press the calf toward the shin, firming the legs. Lengthen from your left hip crease through your left armpit. Crown of the head reaching forward, perhaps looking up. The back leg is firm. Press the back thigh back and press through the outer edge of your back foot. Breathe. Don't forget about the breathing. Another long breath. Let your shoulder blades relax towards your waist. And then look down at the front foot. As you inhale, come on up to center. Good work. Bring your feet to parallel. And either step them or hop them together. And then turn and face the front of your mat. You can return your block off to the side. And just looking forward, feet parallel. We're going to hinge from the hip creases forward this time. So find those hip creases right where the thighs meet the torso. Inhale, look up. Exhale, press your hip creases back to come forward with your spine really long. So we're not bending from the waist. Inhale, come up with a nice flat back. So draw the belly in again. Inhale to look up. Exhale from those hip creases. So your buns will go back as you come forward. This time reach your fingertips toward the floor, or you can rest them on your legs. We're not rounding the back though. It's important to not round the back. We want to keep the length in the spine. So shoulders away from the ears gently. Then look up and lengthen. Hands on the legs. Bring them back to the hips. Come up with a nice long spine. We'll add the arms. So inhale, sweep your arms out, around, and up, but keep your ribs in. Remember not to throw those ribs out or stick your buns back here. And as you exhale, take your arms out to the sides, stick your hips back, hinging from the hip creases, and then fold forward. Hands don't have to touch the floor. Then inhale, place your hands on your legs above or below the knees and lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold forward again. If you need a little bend in the knee here, it's fine. With a flat back, come all the way up on your inhale. Sweep the arms out, around, and up. When you get to the top, palms face in. And then exhale, bring the arms back down. Make sure your feet are parallel. And then we're going to turn your left toes out a little. Step the left foot back. Keep the right foot forward, but then square up your hips and shoulders toward the front of the mat. So your feet are heel to heel or wider between the feet. Then open the chest. Inhale, look up, hands on the hips. Again, hinging from those hip creases, begin to come forward. Any amount. Now pull your right hip back. Inhale, come up with a nice long spine. Then inhale, sweep both arms up, palms facing each other. Keep those hips pointed forward. Exhale, hinge from the hip creases. Take your hands wherever they land on your legs, or if you've got your blocks, you can take one block on each side of your foot. Lengthen out your spine. If you can't reach the blocks, then hands on legs. Inhale, come up with your flat back. Sweep the arms up again. Inhale. And exhale, hinging from the hip creases. Begin to come forward, hands on your leg or on the blocks. Now inhale, look up, lengthen, keeping your spine really long. Pull your right hip back, ground down through the outer edge of your back foot, and then start to fold maybe a little bit deeper if it's possible. Otherwise, stay where you are. Imagine you have another block that you're holding between your inner thighs. Then bring hands to hips, come all the way up with your nice long spine, and step to the front of the mat. So if you're going to use your blocks, keep them handy. Feet hip socket distance apart. Now turn your right toes out a little bit and then step your right foot back. Line up heel to heel and point your hip bones forward. You can go wider than heel to heel too if your back hip won't come forward. So the left hip's coming back, hands on hips, inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hip creases and come forward. Keep pressing into the base of the big toe mound. Inhale, come on up. So base of the big toe mound of the front foot is where you want to press. Inhale, both arms reaching up. Exhale, hinge from your hip creases. Come forward with your nice long spine. Take your hands down to your leg or the blocks or the floor if you can reach. Pull your left hip back and send your right hip forward. Lengthen out your spine. Breathe here. Keep a little lift in your low belly. And then hands to hip creases. Come up with your nice long spine. Good job. I'm going to keep pulling that left hip back, sending the right hip forward. We'll do one more. Inhale, sweep the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, take them out to the sides as you hinge forward from your hip creases. And bring your hands to the blocks or the leg. Make sure you're not rounding your back. So lead with your chest. Pull the belly in, inhale, lengthen. So exhale, you can stay right where you are, or maybe take the blocks down lower, or maybe hands toward the floor, whatever works. The important thing is we're not bending from the waist, but we're hinging from the hips to keep the spine really long. Firm the leg muscles, pull up on the kneecaps, firm the legs without locking the joints, the knee joints. Then bring hands to hips, come up with a nice long spine. Step back to the front of the mat, and you can move your blocks off to the side. Standing in Tadasana, feet hip socket distance apart or together if that's stable. Pull the belly in from the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, hinge from those hip creases to fold over the legs. Crown of the head is reaching down. Come halfway up on your inhale, look up. Exhale, bend your knees so you can step your left foot back and then your right foot back. So bend the knees so you can get those hands down, and then drop to the knees, shift forward, hug the elbows in, lower all the way to your belly, and bring your arms alongside your body. Pull your belly in, lift your shoulder heads, lift everything up on your inhale. Lengthen your sitting bones toward the heels. Gently press your pubic bone down into the floor and then release. You can let your forehead rest, or you could take one ear down to rest. So keep the feet about hips width apart. Take your arms alongside your body. Pull your belly in. Roll your shoulders away from the mat. Lift everything up. As you lift the legs, imagine you're holding a block between the thighs. Widen the collarbones and release. Other ear down or rest your forehead down. Slide your hands by your low ribs. Press up to the knees and then hips back to heels, child's pose. So take a moment to press your hips back toward your heels as much as they will so you can stretch out your lower back here. And then inhale to table. Take your hips off to the right and sweep your feet in front of you so you come to seated. Then we're going to lower onto our back. You can use your hands to help guide you down. And hug your knees into your chest. Uppanasana pose. Gently rock yourself side to side. And then happy baby, holding on to your ankles, shins, or little toe sides of your feet. Draw your knees toward your armpits and lengthen your sitting bones toward the floor to stretch out your low back. This also gives you a stretch in the hips. Release that. Now we're setting up for our final resting pose. So it's important to make sure that you're lengthening your sitting bones towards the backs of your knees, shoulder blades toward the waist, then allow your feet to flap open. Take your arms by your sides with your palms facing up. And most importantly, relax. Forget about your breathing, just sink in and be still. Our quote today comes from Joseph Campbell, who said, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls." So enjoy your Shavasana. I'll be back in a moment. Begin to make some little movements in your fingers and your toes. Take a long breath. And then inhale, stretch the arms overhead, stretching through your whole body. Bend your knees, roll yourself off to your right side, and take a moment to thank yourself for taking your practice today. Very good work showing up on your mat. And then use your top hand to press up. Your head comes up last. Sit nice and tall, crossing at your shins. Bring your hands together. Let's take the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And the hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Sending positive energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. You did a great job today. I'm so glad that you joined me. If you want to practice yoga every day, go to fightmasteryoga.com, click today's yoga class, and then you can follow the beginners section. I really want you to continue your practice because when you practice yoga, you feel better. So I hope I get to see you next time on the mat, tomorrow perhaps. And most importantly, have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.